Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I haven't posted for the past couple of days because I've been in bed like super freaking ill. You can probably still hear it in my voice, so I apologize. But I really wanted to have this stream because the last time I had this guest on the channel, it was just an absolute hit. So I'm joined by MCFCDaps. Dabs, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Looking very sharp, may I add. How's it going?
I'm good. I've just finished work, got home from work, and chilling out. I'm having a chilled out weekend with my daughter. So yeah, I'm good, and a good result yesterday as well. So
yeah. Well, good result for you guys.
An important result for us. Do you know what? I think it was a more important result for us than a win would have been for you as well.
The only thing that kind of makes me feel a teensy bit better about it is thinking, okay, well, City are that much closer to Arsenal now, and I would rather
there's that. There's that, and I think
win.
I think the thing is as well at the moment is you are where you are, right? And that's not going to be dealt with overnight, right? That's going to take a while. Whereas with us, and I know you don't care about this, but whereas with us, we can't let Arsenal get no more points further ahead of us. We couldn't have dropped points last night, and also our recent form's been bad. We needed a bounce back because after the FA Cup, we've got United, then we've got Tottenham. So we really can't be going into those games looking the way maybe we did against Brentford before the World Cup, the way we did against Everton last week, and to be fair, the way we did against you yesterday.
Yeah, so let's get into that. And just for everybody watching, this is kind of a double feature, so to speak, because we're going to be talking about the game that happened Thursday night, and then we're also going to be talking about the FA Cup game that's happening on Sunday afternoon. So
it's Sunday afternoon. Yeah, Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
I don't know what day it is because I've had I've taken sick days from work. Today's a holiday in Spain, so I thought it was Sunday and it's Friday. So
is that where you are, Spain?
It's a holiday in Spain, yeah. It's Reyes Magos, which is like Three Kings Day, so it's a big thing here. So I was celebrating.
So just quickly as well, rest in peace to Gianluca Vialli as well. Yes. I've got some pictures of him in the background as well. So.
Yeah, that's a beautiful tribute that you have. That was just absolutely.
Do you know what it is? Well. It's because when I heard today, it saddened me because obviously we lose a lot of players. There's footballers passing away a lot, but he is someone that in my childhood I remember. Like I remember him. He's one of the people that you could say pioneered, I guess, European footballers coming to the Premier League. He was the early days of the Premier League, and I'll always remember that. Like him, I think for you it was him, Zola, Dan Petrescu, I think it was. But yeah, so rest in peace. And do you know the saddest thing about it that I almost got a bit teary about was seeing the pictures of him and Mancini through the
yes,
like from playing for Sampdoria for like 10 years together to then managing and coaching Italy together. It's sad.
I saw that photo today and I was like, damn. It was so sad. Throat. But yeah, may he rest in peace. I would never know how to go about saying it because I don't want anything to come off, ingenuine. It's just like such a difficult topic.
Yeah, that was well, you know what? I don't mind saying it. He was a legend, not just of Chelsea, not just of the Premier League, but of world football. But also he was a gent as well. And the thing is, even through his suffering, you see he's still smiling. So rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Kind of feels, I don't know how to transition from that. So we're just gonna go.
Well, without making it into a joke, I don't know. From my side yesterday, I think there's a lot of talking points for both our teams because we were really bad in the first half. I could honestly say it might be the worst half of football I've seen from Manchester City for at least a year, if not longer.
Oh my God.
It was really bad. Pep was when I saw the lineup and saw we had Cancelo and Walker, I thought, at last, we've got both our fullbacks back. And you know what that's like. Not having your fullbacks is a big deal. So at last...
I haven't had them for a year. Yeah.
Yes. So we've got both our fullbacks back. Also, there's been this whole thing going on in our fan base for the last week or so about Grealish and Mahrez cannot start together. No Grealish, no Mahrez. And I saw, oh, hold on. Yeah, he's playing Bernardo Silva as a winger. That makes sense. That's how he joined us. Foden on the left. And then the game kicks off and I'm seeing Cancelo playing right wing. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? We're playing with kind of three at the back. And it was just... And ultimately, it just looked like a team that didn't know how to play this way. That's how it looked. The ball retention was shocking. Your ball retention wasn't much better, but it was like both of us were just giving the ball away for fun. It was just a very bizarre first half. Not helped by your injuries.
2 injuries within 15 minutes. And I think it's worth
2 wingers as well.
What?
Your 2 wingers as well.
Yeah. Pulisic and Raheem Sterling. Well, you know all about Sterling, and that brings us up to 10 injuries, which I think is just worth noting on as well, that Chelsea basically could have a starting 11 of injuries because we're out so many players. But why do you think that Pep changed the formation so heavily versus Chelsea? I feel like I don't know, like whenever he plays Chelsea, I feel like we're always seeing something new.
It's not. It's what's going on at the moment is I've been having... Right, so I kind of knew what is going on, but this was a new way of approaching it. Is ultimately... Right, so Manchester City have been very domestically dominant for the last 4 or 5 years. Won a lot of the trophies repeatedly. But the one thing that everyone tells us is we need to win the Champions League, right? And that's the hurdle we can't get over. So we've gone and bought Erling Haaland. Firstly, to win the Champions League. Secondly, because do you know what? As a club, to help improve the brand, let's go and buy one of our old players' sons. And, you know, so we've gone and bought Haaland, who's also, by the way, an extremely good goal scorer. So he's come in
just
and
a little bit.
He's come in and he's doing his job. He scored 21 league goals in, I think, 16 league appearances. Phenomenal. But we all know that we have been so dominant by playing the false 9, which means that we have an extra man in midfield. So, and that is the way Pep plays football. Pep is so adamant on midfield domination, ball retention. If we win the midfield battle, we win the battle. But now we have a 9 instead of a false 9, which means that ultimately means that we need to find a way to get that one back. So what he's been doing a lot this season is he's been taking Cancelo and he's been tucking him in to midfield, or he's been taking Rico Lewis and tucking Rico Lewis into midfield. Now we've got Walker and Cancelo back, which then means Walker can go into a back 3. Then Cancelo can come into the middle of the pitch. But it wasn't actually Cancelo that was coming into the middle of the pitch. It's Bernardo Silva and Rodri that were doing that. Foden was playing kind of like a left wing back. Cancelo was playing a right wing back. Because you have to remember, Cancelo is actually a right back. So all it is about is making sure that you have ultimately as many midfielders as possible. That's what Pep's trying to do. It's just, I think yesterday, with the fact we have Walker coming back, the fact maybe Bernardo Silva hasn't played the role so much, it just looked all too much. And it was too much all in one go. And actually, I've seen interviews with Pep after the game. He's apologized to Cancelo and to Rodri and said, yeah, I won't be playing them there again. So it's kind of, I just think and that's what worried me at halftime when the substitutions got made. And I saw Walker and Cancelo in the stand. I thought, has there been a big Barney in the dressing room where kind of Cancelo and Walker have turned around and said to Pep, look, what are you doing? You're just playing. But it wasn't that. But so first half with us was really weird. With you, it was difficult because of the players coming off. The Sterling one, the minute he went down, I mean, someone said to me it looked like he just didn't want to be there, but I don't think it was that. To me, it looked more like, because, you know, the minute he went down, he wasn't rolling about in agony. He was just sat there, and he looked, and to me, it looked a little bit like maybe the hamstring had been pulling at him in training. And so instantly when it went again, he just knew, no. I knew this was coming. I felt it earlier on. And I think that threw you, the Pulisic thing. However, I actually think that yesterday was more interesting for you for a different reason. The fact that the players he brought on, the fact he didn't bring Jorginho on, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that might be a sign that there's some players in your ranks, maybe more senior players, that aren't really taken to Potter, maybe aren't listening to Potter. Whereas you always know that and it's similar at Arsenal. Arsenal had that, right? And Arteta had to get rid of certain players, bring in some young players, bring through some young players, because young players will always listen to a manager. And when you saw the players that you actually brought on were like Gallagher, for example, Zachariah looked really good.
He did, yeah.
They all look, your younger players look like they might have been playing for Potter.
Yeah, I think that that's an interesting point because, like, especially Lewis Hall, I felt like when he came on, I don't remember when the game that he made his debut, but he had a really good game that he came on and he was looking like pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Somebody said also the fact that you're bringing Chukwuemeka on even ahead of Gallagher, subbing him on.
He looked very good. He
looked
looked
very good.
Possibly your best player yesterday.
Almost scored.
Yeah,
Super unlucky not to
and I
score.
think it was him that put a cross in that almost led to a goal as well. I'm pretty certain it was him. He looked really, really good. Yeah. And obviously Thiago Silva just looked like Thiago Silva, to be fair. So
that made it that he just doesn't age. Like, I want to know what his secret is. It's insane. But to be fair, like, I wasn't expecting so much going into this match because I was like, it's Manchester City. I don't think that we've beaten you since the Champions League. Like, it's been a while. We had gone into some really poor form and we had all of the injuries as well. So I was like, honestly, if we can get a draw, I would be happy with a draw. And I honestly did feel that we had the better of the opportunities, at least in the first half, for sure.
In the first half, definitely.
Then the second half, you made the subs, and I was like, okay, like, it's coming. Our bench is just like youngsters. They don't have this experience, but I'm happy to give them the experience, play them against Man City. It's going to be super valuable for them. But at that point, I was like, well, it is what it is. It's okay. I didn't really see us getting anything. I'm more worried about the games like a Nottingham Forest where we should 100% be winning, and we drew that match. But what do you make of it?
Yeah, no, same. I think that's exactly. First half, you did have the better chances. We both looked sloppy.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is you had your reasons for looking sloppy. You had to make a couple of changes, you know. Whereas with us, it was like we had our best 11 out, minus Diaz and Laporte, to be fair. John Stones, a couple of massive challenges from John Stones that if it wasn't for him as well, it could have been. And I'll be honest, even at 1-0 up until the last minute, I was still kind of thinking we haven't put this to bed. This man, by the way, Rico Lewis, was the game changer for us. When Rico Lewis came on, he just added that extra man in. He did what Pep wanted. He added that extra man in the middle of the park to just kind of make sure that we dominated the midfield. But yeah, it was a big result for us. It wasn't a great performance from us, but it was a massive, massive win for us because we needed that. You could see. And what I was most happy with, because at halftime I was really thinking, do you know what? Pep made a comment a couple of days ago about the body language of some players and maybe some players' mentality not being there at the moment. And at halftime I was thinking, is there issues in the dressing room? But at the end, when we won, seeing the players celebrate together, you can see it did mean a lot to them. And that is the catalyst that we now need to build on. Unfortunately, we have to play you again in the cup before we get to play in the league. But we have to build off that now. We're back at the Etihad. I expect to see a lot of changes from our side. You are going to have to make a lot of changes. But I think you might start with a lot of young players as well this time.
I feel like in like the third, maybe even fourth round, you tend to see teams just put out like a youngster team. And Chelsea's history in the FA Cup. Well, I'm not sure, but we've got into the final like some crazy 5 out of 6 of the past years, but we've lost the last 3 finals in a row. But this is realistically, I think, a much more important game for Chelsea than it is for City, because it's our chance at getting silverware this year. Because
no, don't rule out the Champions League.
Chelsea winning the Champions League this year.
Listen. You can laugh about that, right? But if you go back to the season you beat us in it, right? At this point that season,
true.
Had you got rid of Lampard by that point?
Yeah, it was like sometime in January, like mid-ish January. Yeah.
So at that point, you never would have thought you were going to win the Champions League. If you go back to the previous time you won it under Di Matteo, when Di Matteo came in, you would have not have thought you were going to win the Champions League. So the fact is, I will never, ever rule Chelsea out in the Champions League because of the fact they've done it twice and probably the 2 times that they least likely thought they would do it in January. So at the moment, I'd still be looking at the Champions League. I get it that maybe your manager's never, but neither had Di Matteo. So this actually has Chelsea's Champions League written all over it for me. This is screaming Chelsea going to win it this season. I don't know if I'm.
You're hyping me up.
But listen, why not? Why not? No. Everyone's saying we've got to win it, and I'm sat here thinking, listen, I've never seen us win one, so.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with City, especially like that Real Madrid game, that it just seemed like, I don't want to say you self-capitulated, but it just seemed like the mentality shift. Yeah. And you go against like Real Madrid, who are just like, we're going to win it. It happened to Chelsea that season as well, that we actually were leading them. And then at that point, I was like, well, Madrid are definitely going to win the Champions League. But I'm sure all of my subscribers are going to appreciate you saying that.
No, honestly, I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying it. It's something that I always, as a City fan, have always said the reason why we haven't won it yet is because it's very easy for Liverpool fans to sit there and say, oh, you should win it by now. They've won 5 or 6. I can't remember how many it is now, right?
Yeah.
We've never won it. Getting that first one is the most difficult thing. Whereas you and Liverpool, you've both won it in recent years. So I will never say you can't take Chelsea aren't going to win it. You have to take any team that get to the last 16. The last 16 and have won it before, let alone in recent years. I think you have to take seriously. You can't go in thinking because they know how to do it. You do know how to do it. Even the seasons when you have won it, you haven't looked that good in the league. I think the season you won it under Tuchel, I think you finished 4th in the league.
Yeah, we finished 4th in the league, and I think at the point that he took over Chelsea, we were also like 9th or 10th. And he just completely sturdied up our defense. But the thing that makes me worried is that we're conceding goals and we're not scoring goals.
Missing Rudiger.
That was a big miss, honestly. I think that we underestimated just how big of a loss that was going to be. Yeah. And Koulibaly just hasn't quite looked like he's fit into the side. He's making
better yesterday, to be fair. It was a bit better yesterday.
He was better yesterday, yeah. But just in general, I feel that he's been making silly fouls or just looks a bit shakier than I would have expected. And Rudiger just completely slotted into the side. He knew exactly what he needed to do, but he had been there for years. So hopefully we can say the same of Koulibaly going forward. Let's see. But so looking at the game on Sunday, how do you think that City are going to approach it differently, if anything?
I think what I'm hoping for, right? We don't know with Pep, but what I'm hoping for is right. There's one thing I really want to see. I want to see Jack Grealish in the 8 role or the 10 role. Someone, a City fan, hold tight, Daniel. He watches a lot of things I do, so he might watch this. He's just been. So me and him have been going back and forth a bit about the whole Grealish Mahrez thing. I'm very much of the opinion that I don't really want to see Grealish on the wing anymore. I think Grealish is more suited to an 8 or 10 role. I would say I was calling it a more advanced 8 role, but he came up with an idea, and it was actually based on the way Pep played at Barcelona when they had Etu, and at Bayern when they had Lewandowski, and it was playing 3 at the back, and then it would have 2 behind the striker. And he was kind of saying it would be perfect to play Foden on the left, maybe Mahrez or Alvarez on the right, Haaland through the middle, and then Grealish and De Bruyne behind Haaland.
Oh.
And I would like to see Grealish in a more central role. I don't know about if Haaland will start in the cup. I don't think he will. I think we're gonna want to rest him every now and again. Alvarez hasn't had any time since he's come back from the World Cup, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see Alvarez start up top.
I mean, he was so good in the World Cup, and I was like, he doesn't even start for City. This is insane.
Yeah, he's do you know, I kind of said it as a joke on a show. I don't know what show it was. Matisse was definitely on the show, but I don't know what show it was on. I don't know if it was on. No, can't. It might have been on show we do called Big Six, Battle of the North. Sorry, not Big Six. And I was saying, if Messi has a bad second half and this is, I'm just asking a question. If Messi has a bad second half of the season, if Mbappe has a bad second half of the season, City go on a Champions League run and a Premier League run, and Alvarez starts featuring heavily and scoring a lot of goals. With his 4 goals he scored in the World Cup for the World Cup winners, would that put Alvarez in the running for the Ballon d'Or? And that's the exact response Matisse gave me. But I'm just saying that, look, if it isn't solely based on winning a World Cup, then Alvarez has a chance to win the Ballon d'Or this year.
I mean, we saw with Jorginho that he came in 3rd, and he didn't have, like, he was a great player, but in a system for a team, and he won the Euros with Italy, he won the Champions League with Chelsea, but it's not like it's not like as easy to measure as a striker that's just bagging in 20 goals, and he came in 3rd, and I think largely because of those performances.
The World Cup. Sorry, the Euro it was. So, and that was my exact narrative I used on Matisse, and I even used Jorginho. I said, well, Jorginho got 3rd in the Ballon d'Or, and he wasn't even a forward. So Alvarez has already scored 4 for Argentina in the World Cup. Look, I was joking because I don't think he will play that big a part in either of our league but we are looking forward to getting him back. That's for certain. Yeah, but I apart from that, the other changes, I don't think you'll see. Cole Palmer will probably play.
But think we'll see like a fairly unchanged City side from the side that faced Chelsea, or maybe throwing in a lot more youngsters into the team?
Pep just don't do it. We might see 1 or 2. I'd be shocked if you see a load. I'd love to see it. We always like to see new youngsters. I think we'll see Cole Palmer. I think we'll see Alvarez come in. Do you know what? The maddest thing is, I would say Rico Lewis will start, but Rico Lewis might be actually currently Pep's preferred option for the United game. So he might rest Rico and start Kyle Walker. I don't know yet. It's Pep roulette. I don't think it's necessarily a game that we're I don't think we're necessarily pushing for the FA Cup this year. I think we're in a place at the moment where we are going to be in a title race. We're going to be, and it isn't going to be a walk in the park. We definitely want to win the Champions League. So, and we're in the. In fact, sorry, we've got a game midweek as well before United.
Yeah.
We've got a game in the Carabao Cup as well on Wednesday.
I was just checking that. Yeah.
We have.
Versus Southampton away, and then playing United.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that's on Wednesday.
I don't know what
Chelsea play on Thursday, so Chelsea do have an extra day of rest.
Who have you got on Thursday?
Fulham. It's a double game week in the Premier League. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we had a couple of fixtures postponed. I know like City, Chelsea have double game weeks. The only reason I know this is because of PL.
Well, we don't have double game week.
Oh wait, next week
Carabao Cup.
Double game week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, Arsenal Spurs, I think, or United Spurs.
And yes, and City. Right, that's it. So next week we've got the running's mad. I think, and this is where it starts to favour Arsenal. I think by the time we play Arsenal, we could play about another 8 games, whereas they could play 5.
Yeah,
so we've got you on Sunday. We've got Southampton on Wednesday in the Carabao. Then we've got United on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Then we've got Tottenham on Thursday. So that's the double week. It's United and Tottenham.
Yeah, that's the double game week. Yeah.
Will you be putting Haaland in?
In my fantasy team? Yeah, I captained him versus Chelsea and he got nothing.
He let you down. Well, I would recommend you captain him against United and Spurs.
I always have my captain on him, and then he let me down this week. But yeah, so it's going to be pretty crazy fixtures for you guys. I think that's going to be interesting to see how it might affect Pep's selection versus Chelsea. Yeah. I do think that Pep tends to go for like every trophy that's available. He wants to compete in it. And I think Chelsea are really going to go for it because the Champions League feels off to me. I hope that you're right and that, we win it yet again.
By the way.
But just with the amount of players that we have injured, it's been a rough season so far. Hopefully,
I think that's the biggest issue you've got. You can't really, because you don't know how long. You don't know how long Reece James is going to be out for as well. Now
they said at least a month, but he came back the first game that he came back after being injured. He got re-injured. Fofana as well. He had a preseason game, got re-injured. Ben Chilwell got re-injured. N'Golo Kante's been out since August versus the Spurs for the Spurs game. We just have so many injuries. Now you have Mason Mount, who never gets injured. Now
is he injured? Is that why he didn't play yesterday? I didn't know he was injured as well.
He got a knock in training, apparently. We don't know anything else. So I don't know how long Mason Mount is going to be out. Hopefully I'll have an update for everybody before the City game. So Pulisic's injured, Sterling's injured, everybody's injured, Mendy's injured. So yeah, you can make a starting 11 essentially with everybody.
I think that's the hardest thing with you guys going into this game. It's you can't take your eye off the league too much as well, because I mean, what does Todd want? Does he want cups or does he want top 4 football? Is top 4 football even possible this season now?
That's the thing, because I'm just like looking at the Premier League table. Chelsea are 10th, 25 points. We're 10 points off of United in 4th. Like 10 points is already a big gap to fill. So we would have to go on to a very good run. United would have to be dropping points like crazy. I don't know if it's already too late. I hope not, but it just seems like a lot of work. So I'm looking at maybe Europa League this year. But who knows? What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
My score prediction is 3-1 City.
Oh,
it hurts me to say that, but I think we'll concede. Unfortunately, I'd like to say we don't concede, but I think
who
we will
scored the
concede.
goal for Chelsea?
Very good point. Conor Gallagher.
Ah, love it. He scored like a worldie, and
I think he might start as well.
I think he'll start. So just to kind of think about who I see starting, I don't think Mendy's fit yet. I think that Kepa's kind of been Graham Potter's first choice goalkeeper.
Yeah, yesterday was a bit.
I actually did think that he could have done better on that goal, that he could have blocked it. And Grealish came out and said it as well. He's like, I thought that I hit the ball too close to the keeper, but I guess not.
It really did look like he left it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I thought that he could have done better. But I suspect that he's going to start the back line. I honestly don't know who. I think Trevor Chalobah might come in for Aspilicueta, for example, but I don't know if we're going to be starting Thiago Silva in this match after having just played. But I also
that's
don't
true.
necessarily know who.
Will Aubameyang start?
I don't think Aubameyang starts. I think we'll probably see the youngsters. Like I think we'll see Chukwuemeka, Hutchinson, Lewis Hall, Conor Gallagher. I think we're gonna see basically the team that was playing in the second half. I think that's going to be Chelsea's team more or
Will
less.
Jorginho start?
He was rested, so I wouldn't be surprised if he starts.
Rested? What? This is a thing, though. He's
been playing like every game for Chelsea because Kovacic has been injured.
I hear you, but he didn't even get brought on as a sub.
But I also think about like when you're a goal behind, like Jorginho isn't necessarily the type of player that you're going to bring on to like get a goal. He's more like the player that you bring on when you're a goal ahead and you want to
he's definitely not going to help get you a goal.
The thing with Jorginho is that I think that he's maybe been a little bit more exposed with the back four system because when we played a back 3/5, he had a lot more coverage from the center backs. Now he doesn't have as much time because he doesn't have that extra body to pick out the pass. So we're seeing him maybe go a bit slower, pick out like.
Yeah, that's a good point. How long's Kante out for?
How
much longer is Kante out for?
He's been out since August. He had surgery actually. Right. So I think he's out. I don't know when he got surgery, but I think he's out until at least February, March.
Right, okay. Oh, God.
For a while still.
Yeah.
But he's we've really felt his absence since he's gotten injured. I think our best game was for Spurs, and he was on the pitch, and then he got injured.
Yeah, I think you would miss a play like him, 100%.
Oh, he's brilliant. 100%. He's brilliant. But first score prediction, I don't know. I think maybe it'll be like tied and then go to extra time. So
we don't need that. We got too many games. We can't allow that to happen.
I'm trying to be optimistic that Chelsea will win like 2-1, maybe. I don't know. But
you're going with 2-1.
I'm going to go with 2-1 because I can't predict a loss. So if I'm thinking with my head, I think City go through. If I'm thinking with my heart, then Chelsea, of course. But thank you so much for joining.
No, thanks for having me. I hope you start to feel better.
Thank you, because I feel so bad that like I'm here so sick, but I really appreciate you coming on.
No problem at all.
Nice to have you.
Nice to be on. And make sure you like this, people. Subscribe to the channel. And please also subscribe to Never a Foul.
Yes, I was just going to say that if you had anything to plug, but you did my job for me. So make sure to subscribe, and you can see Dabs on literally so many shows on YouTube. He's a good friend of Matisse as well, who everybody watching here should know.
What time's this out?
I'm gonna post it like right after. So as
Okay,
long
cool.
as it downloads, like in a couple of minutes, yeah.
Cool. So if you're watching this and it's Friday, then I will be on Matisse's channel at 11 p.m. tonight. It's a late one, but 11 p.m.
man.
for Battle of the North with myself, Matisse, Flawless, and Hussam.
It will definitely be up before then, and I can't believe that you're streaming so late. Like I would be.
Listen, it was, yeah, it wasn't my decision to do that time, but
I have a 9 p.m. stream, and I'm like, oof, that is late for me. but guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Going to try to get some stuff out tomorrow if I'm feeling better. I really wanted to make sure that you had some sort of content out today. So hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to follow Dabs at Never Foul, like, sub, you know the drill, and let's hope. If you're a Chelsea fan, let's hope that Chelsea win. If you're a City fan, I'm sorry, but you're on a Chelsea fan channel. Okay. Have a good night. Talk to you guys there. Bye.